Good morning. Welcome to our channel. We appreciate each and every one of you. If this doesn't blow your mind, then I don't think anything can. If this doesn't wake you up. It is the 27th of June, 2020, and this is brought to you by BioTrust, Ageless BioTrust. I use the collagen daily. I love it, and you'll see the results every time you see me on camera. But right now, we need to show you some reports. Jane's off to Montana, and I'm going to show you some reports. This is Daigle.com. Now, who is Daigle? Well, I'm glad you asked. Daigle is a military contractor. They build military equipment. If you go down here, let's take a look at, I don't know. How about offensive weapons? They build them for the Russians. They build them for the Americans. By the way, there's 50 pounds of silver in each one of those. They build them for whoever has the money. You want to have a nuclear arsenal? Just fork out the money. Them ain't U.S. markings. They build them for whoever will pay them. There's a neat little bomb. Doesn't matter. They just build them. You pay us, we build them. Doesn't matter who they're for. If you go there, you can actually look at all kinds of stuff. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And they tell you what they're building. Parts, pieces, the whole thing. It doesn't matter. Daigle is an arms manufacturer. Worldwide offensive weapons. Oh, let's look at anything from airliners to private aircraft. Space systems. Oh, there's the space shuttle. There's a satellite launch system. There's some solar panels on a satellite. There it is, blasting off into space. There's a neat little satellite. And there's the X-37, complete with a cloaking device, an arm that reaches out and puts spray paint across the satellite's face, and a 20 megaton bomb. It is completely cloaked. We talked about that on television. The first one, when they launched the X-37 Bravo, disappeared for 3 months. Nobody could track it because it was cloaked. Right out of Daigle's headquarters. So now that you know Daigle is a worldwide arms manufacturing company, let's take a look at what they predict. They are tied into every Department of Defense you can imagine. From the Russian Department of Defense to the American Department of Defense, Canadian Department of Defense, Chinese, it doesn't matter. As long as you pay them the money, they'll build them. And in the end, only the arms dealers will remain. So here we have it. Population of China over the next, this is 2017 population, this is 2025 population, when Lucifer is supposed to return. The Chinese GDP, the population will go down, I don't know, 32 million. The GDP will go from 16 to 11 in gross domestic product. Most of these countries aren't going to see a big population reduction until you get to the U.S. allies, going from 126 to 103. And the United States is going to go from 326 down to 99. It used to be 69, but now they're estimating only 3 out of 4 of us will die. Aren't they sweet? Italy, going from 62 million to 43 million. France, 67 million to 39 million. Canada, 35 to 26 million. South Korea, 51 to 37 million. Netherlands, 17 to 16. Let's go to some other, let's see. Germany, 80 million to 28 million. The gross domestic product will go from 3.6 trillion to 620 billion. The average individual will go from earning 50,000 a year to 14,000 a year. So let's go back to the United States. Let's click on the USA. What does the Department of Defense expect? Okay, so they're not going to load this page. They expect the U.S. population to go from 327 million today. Of course, there won't be a U.S. dollar then. To 100 million. Now, why would Daigle Corporation put that out? Because that's what's planned. The pandemic we saw yesterday will last until 31 March 2025. And in that, they will hammer on the NATO nations, lock us up, and kill us. Our gross domestic product will go down to 2.4 trillion. We will be a third-rate country. The purchasing power of every American will be about $1,500 a month, at the most. Unbelievable, evil plan for the United States. We will go from, I wasn't sure if this was correct, we will go from 34 inhabitants per square mile to 10 inhabitants per square mile. We will be desertified. Now, where are they getting all this? Well, first of all, Gordon Michael Scallion said this is the way the world's going to look very soon. He didn't give a time frame. All these guys who claim to be prophets and have dreams don't give a time frame. They expect most of Europe to be flooded out eventually. These continents, Atlantis and Lemuria will rise. This is Atlantis over here. This is Lemuria. These are the flooded out regions. The whole world will shift. What does that mean to us poor Americans? It's like nobody's fighting for us, right? Well, let's take a look. This is what Gordon Michael Scallion said the world is going to turn into. The United States will sink here. The coastal lines will disappear. You used to be able to buy these maps, but you can't anymore. Google's censored everything. The United States will be split by the ocean, and most of the Midwest to the west will be flooded, all the way up through Colorado. Now, how they're going to sink the Rockies, they will sink the Rockies, I don't know. But the United Nations said that if they don't kill us in December 2019, they're going to pour out evil upon the land, which we're seeing now through the World Bank. You saw that yesterday. They're pouring out evil upon the land, and they will sink continents. And we are still funding the United Nations, which apparently will be flooded up here. Let's see if we can get a little close-up of New York City. Yep. Oh, no, they're not going to flood New York City. Isn't that interesting? Rhode Island and New York will not flood. The United Nations will not be flooded out as the oceans rise, even though it's right on the ocean. Isn't that amazing? The UN will still remain right there because we're funding it to the tune of billions and billions of dollars a year. California will become a chain of islands in the Sierra Nevada. Tahoe will sink. This will all be ocean land as Atlantis rises. Okay, so much for the Fantasyland. Unfortunately, the Fantasyland was adopted by the U.S. Navy. See if they have their map in here. This is the U.S. Navy prediction of the United States. It says all the coastlines will be flooded. Florida will become a little peninsula. But it doesn't link these oceans together. So the U.S. Navy is considering pretty much the same thing. That the United States will flood out. Parts of the United States, i.e. this whole region, will sink. Because something's going to blow here. Kaboomo! And this whole area will sink like pulling the cork out of a sink. We'll just sink. The whole coastline. I'll be under 100 feet of water where I'm at. So how are they going to accomplish this? Well, we know the sun's enlarging. We know that in 1993 it started burning more helium than hydrogen. Now it's white. We'll show pictures of the whiteout that the sun's doing probably on Monday. So wait for that. So here it is. Dago predicts we're going to go from a gross domestic product of 19 trillion, the world of 79 trillion. The United States will then go down to 2.4 trillion, but the world will only go down to 65 trillion. So the world will have a per capita income of 9,400 per person. We're going to go down to 2,400, but the actual purchasing power will only be 16,000 a year. The military budget will go from 1.2 trillion. That's interesting because we only allocated 769 billion for the military, but they know it's 1.2 trillion because of the additional things, like they'll give this military contractor this much money, and they'll give that military contractor that much money. So over the years, we're gonna see a decrease of the population over the next 5 years. That's why the World Bank says we're going to have to wear masks and stay home for the next 5 years. They plan to kill 3 out of 4 Americans. That's it. Dago. They build space systems. They build satellites. They'll build cannon. They'll build anything you want. If you got the money, they'll build it. They'll build an airliner. Didn't know Dago had airliners, did you? They'll build a destroyer or a frigate for you. They'll even build a battleship if you got enough money. And they'll build combat aircraft. There it is. That cool thing that stopped in midair right over my head and when I was at 6th and Sprague in Tacoma. That thing, it just stopped. Anti-gravity propulsion system. They just stopped right in midair. It went and stopped. There's the one with 50 pounds of silver in it. If that has 50 pounds of silver in it, how many pounds of silver does that have in it? Probably a lot. No wonder why silver is going to be in short supply. Anyway, we're not going to belabor the point, except that the Dagle, a defense contractor tied into Lockheed Martin and the super duper top secret space program run out of Bethesda, Maryland by Lockheed Martin, the advanced technology section, run by a guy named Ryan. Or no, it's Robert now. Ryan. No, it's Ryan. I don't know. I get the names mixed up. So here you have it. The budget of the United States. The world. Unbelievable. I mean, when you start prying into this, and all you have to do is type in DEAGEL. DEAGEL, World Population Estimates. That's it. And you'll learn that there's Australia going from 23 million to 15 million. Taiwan, 23 million to 18 million. Spain, 48 million to 27 million. How are they going to kill half the people in Spain? They're going to lock them up, tell them they can't get out of their house because there's a pandemic. They're going to scare them to death on television because none of the world, there's Netherlands. They won't hardly change. I mean, it lists every single country. How are they going to do this? With fear. Belgium, 11.5 million to 8 million. They're going to kill all kinds of people. This is Dagle, and nobody's rebelling. Switzerland, 8 million to 5 million. Unbelievable. United Kingdom is supposed to go from 65 million to 14 million people. 14 million people. Population, 66 million. Population by 2025, 15 million. This is what the Queen and her Department of Defense has planned. Their gross domestic product will be nothing. It'll go from 2.6 trillion to 197 billion. They're going to be a third world country. Unbelievable. There you have it, folks. The military budget will go from unbelievable. How are they going to get the military budget from 1.2 trillion to 1.4 billion? Unbelievable. Or 1.2 trillion to 1.4 billion. That means most of you in the military will be dead. Dead. Gone. Poof. Vanished. You think the Department of Defense wants the military around? They're the only competition. They're going to kill you if you're in the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines. They're going to kill you. I mean, look at the numbers yourself. You know, look at the numbers. You just go through this and you go, how can they be this evil? Well, they are this evil. It's just the way they are. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We pray that this insanity stops. We pray that President Trump has the guts to terminate this garbage. We don't know that he does, but we'll soon find out. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you bright and early. Well, hopefully Monday morning, if they don't throw our channel off the air for telling you the truth. You know, they get really good at that. China will not have a very big population reduction. India will not. Russia will not. Japan will. Brazil won't. And the United States will. Everybody who's allied with the United States of America, they plan to kill hundreds of millions of people. Unbelievable. This is Dagle's prediction. Hey, they get paid, they'll give you their honest opinion. You pay them, they'll buy it, build you a nuclear missile. You pay them, they'll give you population and GDP estimates. And military expenditures. Unbelievable. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. We will see you. This is just another mind-blowing population figure fact. They want us dead, and we need to pray and try and stop them. God bless. Thank you very much, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.